Have you ever just watched someone command a room and wondered, how do they do that? Is it some kind of magic they're born with? Or is it a skill you can actually learn? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're not just talking about giving a speech. We're diving deep into the science of charisma to unlock the secrets of real, genuine influence. Okay, picture this. You're about to present something. Suddenly, your heart is just hammering against your ribs, right? Your palms are clammy, and all those brilliant thoughts you had just a minute ago, poof, gone, vanished into thin air. If any of that sounds even vaguely familiar, trust me, you are in exactly the right place.
And if that is you, the first thing you need to know is you are not broken. You're just human. That feeling is a survival instinct that's been wired into us for thousands of years. But here's the game-changing part. You don't have to live with it. There are actual science-backed steps you can take to flip that switch, to turn that raw anxiety into authentic, rock-solid confidence.
This right here, this is maybe the most important idea we're going to talk about today. I want you to completely erase that old myth that some people are just born charismatic. It's not magic, and it's not a gift. It is a skill. And just like learning an instrument or a new language, you can break it down, you can practice it, and you can absolutely master it. And that's exactly what we're going to start doing right now. So here's our roadmap. Think of it as our journey to mastery. First, we're going to start inside our own heads and literally hack our brains for confidence. Then we'll learn to engineer our voice for impact. After that, we'll architect our message so it's unforgettable, learn to speak with our entire body. And finally, we'll tie it all together to truly master the art of influence. All right, step one, it's all about the internal game. Before you even say a single word, the battle for confidence, it's already won or lost right inside your mind. So let's figure out how to take back control. So the second you have to face an audience, this tiny, ancient part of your brain called the amygdala completely hijacks your system. Seriously, think of it as your inner caveman just screaming, danger! It floods you with stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, getting you ready for a fight that isn't actually coming. And that's why when someone tells you to just calm down, it's the worst advice ever. It's like telling a car skidding on ice to just drive straight. Your body physically can't do it. But here's the brilliant trick, and this is backed by some incredible research. You can't stop the physical feeling, but you can change what it means. Think about it. A racing heart, faster breathing, that's the same physical signature for fear and for excitement. So by simply telling yourself, I'm excited, you're not lying. You're performing a kind of mental judo. You're flipping your brain's interpretation from this is a threat to this is an opportunity. And that one tiny shift can make a massive difference in your performance. 20%. What in the world could this number possibly mean? Well, it might just be one of the most comforting, most empowering statistics you will ever hear about public speaking. It's because of something called the illusion of transparency. It's this powerful little glitch in our brains that tricks us into thinking that our internal chaos, the pounding heart, the shaky feeling is totally obvious to everyone watching. But the reality? The audience perceives at most about 20% of that anxiety. You feel like you're a nervous wreck, but to them, you just look like you. Just knowing that can take so much pressure off. And this leads us to the ultimate brain hack. We all suffer from the spotlight effect, right? That feeling that every single person is watching us, judging every little mistake. But here's the liberating truth. The audience isn't there to judge you. They're there for themselves. They want to learn something or feel something. So the trick is to shift your focus. Stop asking, how do I look? And start asking, what value, what gift can I give to them? The moment you shift from a mindset of performance to one of service, that fear of judgment just starts to melt away. Okay, so we've rewired your mind. Now, let's tune your instrument. Your voice is the main vehicle that carries your message to the world. A flat, monotonous voice can put people to sleep, but a well-engineered voice, that becomes a powerful tool of influence. It can convey emotion, authority, and keep an audience hanging on every word. So mastering your voice really boils down to these 5 elements. First up is pace. You can speed up to show excitement, and then you can slow things way down for emphasis. Next is pitch. A slightly lower tone signals authority, while the higher pitch can signal a question or curiosity. Third, power. Don't speak from your throat, project from your diaphragm, your core. It gives your voice a much richer sound. Fourth, the all-powerful pause, which we'll get to in a sec. And fifth, prosody. That's just the melody of your voice. You want to avoid sounding robotic by letting your voice naturally rise and fall. And that brings us to the pause. Most of us are absolutely terrified of silence. We rush to fill every empty moment with ums and ahs and you knows. But truly charismatic speakers, they use silence as a tool. A pause right before a key point builds suspense. A pause right after lets that point sink in. Silence isn't a sign that you're lost, it's a sign of complete confidence. Hey, just jumping in here for a second. If you're finding these tips on hacking your mind and engineering your voice useful, would you do me a quick favor and just tap that like button? It really helps. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next steps, where we get into crafting your message and using your body to communicate. All right, so you've got the mindset and you've got the vocal tools. Now, what are you actually going to say? You can be the most confident person in the world with a great voice, but if your ideas are all over the place, you're going to lose people. A well-architected message is designed to work with the human brain, making it super easy to understand, to remember, and most importantly, to act on. You know, the blueprint for persuasion has been around for over 2,000 years, thanks to Aristotle, and it's still the gold standard. Any powerful message needs these 3 pillars. First, there's ethos. That's your credibility. Why should anyone listen to you? Second, you need logos. That's the logic, the data, the facts, the solid structure of your argument. And third, and maybe most importantly, you need pathos, the emotion. People are moved by feelings. You need stories to make your logic connect. The real masters use all 3. Now, this is a fantastic little tool for those moments when you're put on the spot. It's called the PrEP framework. So imagine someone asks, why should we move forward with this? First, make your point. We should move forward because it will boost our team's productivity. Then give the reason. It automates a task that's currently a huge time sink. Follow with an example. Last month, a similar tool saved our other department 15 hours a week. And finally, restate your point. And that's why boosting productivity with this tool is the right move. See, it makes you sound organized, clear, and confident in an instant. So far, we've covered what you think and what you say. But now we got to talk about what your audience sees. Your body is sending out signals constantly, and if your words say one thing, but your body is screaming something else, guess which one people are going to believe? Every single time, it's the body. So let's dive into the world of nonverbal mastery. This is absolutely wild. This famous research shows that when you're talking about feelings or attitudes, a staggering 55% of your impact comes from your body language. Another 38% comes from your tone of voice. And your actual words, they account for a tiny 7%. So if you say, I'm so thrilled to be here while you're slumped over with your arms crossed, nobody's buying it. Your body has to be in sync with your message. So what the heck are you supposed to do with your hands? Easy. Use the power box. Just imagine a rectangle on your torso, from your collarbones down to your belly button. When you keep your hand gestures inside this zone, you look controlled, confident, and focused. Gestures that are too low can look timid, and gestures that are flying all over the place just look chaotic. Staying in the box projects this really calm, powerful energy. Your posture is sending out massive signals too. An open posture, uncrossed arms, showing your palms, that's a universal sign of trust and honesty. A closed posture, like crossing your arms, doesn't just make you look defensive, it can actually increase your own stress hormones. But the coolest part is that the reverse is true. Adopting a power pose, like standing tall with your hands on your hips for just 2 minutes before you speak, can literally change your brain chemistry, boosting confidence and lowering anxiety. Your body can actually lead your mind. Okay, we've worked on the mind, the voice, the message, and the body. Now we're at the final step. This is where we bring all those skills together to go beyond just presenting information and start creating real connection and lasting influence. Please, never forget this. Data is important. Logic is absolutely essential, but data speaks to the analytical part of the brain. Stories speak to the human heart. Stories are what build empathy and trust. They're what make complex ideas feel real and memorable. So if you guys want to inform someone, give them data. But if you want to inspire them to act, you have to tell a story. And the most powerful story structure of all time is the hero's journey. But here's the secret. You are not the hero. Your audience is the hero of the story. You start with their status quo, the problem they have right now. You introduce an inciting incident that shows them why they need to change. You talk about the struggle they face. And then you position your idea or your solution as the magic tool that helps them win. And you finish by painting this vivid picture of the new normal, the amazing future they now have because they took that journey with you. Lastly, to make sure your message actually sticks, you have to understand how our memory works. It's called the primacy and recency effect. Basically, people remember the first thing they hear and the last thing they hear. Everything in the middle tends to get a little fuzzy. This means your opening has to be an incredible hook that grabs them right away. And your ending can't just trail off. It has to be a strong, clear, and memorable final thought or call to action.
So let's wrap this all up. Charisma isn't magic. Public speaking isn't some innate talent. They are skills. And the only way to get better at any skill is through what's called deliberate practice. It's not enough to just do it more. You have to record yourself. You have to watch it back. Yes, even if it makes you cringe. Analyze it. Was my voice flat there? Was my posture closed off? Then you pick just one thing to improve for next time. That right there is the real path to mastery.
Wow, we have covered a ton of ground today, from brain science all the way to storytelling. So I am genuinely curious, out of everything we talked about, which technique really stood out to you? Which is the one you're actually excited to go out and try first? Is it that mental judo move of turning stress into excitement? The prep framework? Or maybe you're going to try the 2-minute power pose? Let me know your answer down in the comments. I'd really love to see what you're going to put into practice. And of course, if you want more deep dives like this one that break down complex skills into simple, actionable steps, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Now go out there and share your voice with the world.